One of my favorite things that I learned with you was the story of the confession booth. Confession leads to salvation. Confession, here's what I also learned too, not just confessing, because that can get messy, but a step forward that turns you, okay, this is where I'm headed now.
Yeah, the spiritual word for that is repentance, right? It's a shift. I'm going to turn from this toward this. I'm taking an action. For those who have followed us, Shane loves golf.
Yes,
and
obsessed.
I play golf-ish.
To be completely fair, at this time in our lives, I probably devote more mental. I might have more mental space than you do. Not might. I do. And B, I devote more mental energy toward
the game,
getting better at it.
Yeah. That's fair. Which is kind of what my point. This is kind of where I was going with what's fascinating me. We went out and played, I don't know, a few weeks ago, whatever. And I was like, I hate this game. I don't know. Why do I play? This is the dumbest thing ever. Yeah. By hole 17, I was like, I'm sore. I'm hot. Like, well, I wanted to quit 7 holes ago. So anyway, I was like, oh my gosh. We got our friend Scott, who's a golf coach. And I'm like, I got to go see Scott. Yeah. So, I'm confessing my energy was not green triangle energy. It was, I got to, not I get to. So I get to Scott and I'm like, I'm golf because my friends golf, like my clients golf. I like getting outside. It's good.
Yeah.
Maybe every now and then I enjoy the sport, but Scott, this is dumb. Like, I hate this game. He's like, wow, okay. Lots of victim, lots of, and so he's like, well, show me, and so I swung a couple times. He's like,
yeah, I can see why.
He goes, well, I had my irons. He goes, well, how about just lean your weight forward a little bit? And I want you to think about your follow through. And he's like, I want you to think about parallel lines. And he was like, I want you to finish like a picture frame. And the way you hold your club, like this square, rectangle actually. And I did it a few times.
Okay.
And I hit it like beautifully.
Right.
I was like, this is a pretty fun game.
Man, this is fun.
And
it's true though.
Then we went out and played, and I shot one of the best games. Now I still don't. I'm not anywhere close to the kind of passion you have for the game.
Right,
Nowhere close.
Right.
But I did drive away from that session with Scott, and there were 2 other things that had happened. One was we had hired Brian Delaney, who's going to be on the show soon. He's been doing ClickFunnels with Russell Brunson and Tony Robbins, and he's a marketing genius. And we were like, hey, we want to do more for the masses. How do we create resources for everybody? And then we got to get the word out. And so Brian's been coaching me and us, really the whole team, right? You, me, Jackie. And I had this kind of stacked. I just spent time with Brian. Then I walked out with Scott and I was like, oh my gosh, this is why we all benefit from a coach.
Right.
And sometimes it's not dramatic. Most of the time, it's not some dramatic thing.
Yep.
But we can't see the forest for the trees. And someone says to us, well, tweak this, try this. What if you ask the question this way? What if you stopped with this expectation and changed it to an agreement? Like, sometimes, most of the time, it's not some massively dramatic thing. So why don't we all have a coach?
I know. Same thing with Scott. Like, I've been playing golf basically my whole life at different levels, but I've only seen him a couple times, maybe 3 times. And just there are 2 significant things during my swing that I think about, and they both came from him, and they're small. One of them's in my backswing to really, whatever, that's boring. But one of them's in my backswing and one of them's in my follow through, and that's it. And it has, I'm not like consistently in the 70s or anything, but it feels better, and I'm hitting the way a shot should feel. I feel that way more often. And so it's just like, wow, just a couple little things. Like, he's not trying to overhaul anybody.
Right. So what is it? Why? What is the breakdown? Why do we? What's the obstacle to having a mentor or a coach, somebody who guides you as an adult? Because when we're kids, we have teachers, we have coaches, we might have a youth leader. Like we typically have several voices maybe that are guiding us in our lives when we become adults. And it's not like we figure life out.
I'm not saying it's a great excuse, but money is part of it.
So resources. So there's one obstacle. What's the other obstacles?
I think people would probably say time.
Okay. That means I have to devote time. Yeah.
So I could see that.
I do. Like that was part of my resistance.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
I got to drive out there. I got to see.
Sure. Is it really, if it's you starting out trying for the first time to have a coach, there could be a lot of skepticism.
Yeah. What's this really going to do for me? I sat with a client yesterday, and actually 2 clients, husband and wife, and they were like, we've done plant medicine everywhere in the world. We have seen 7 therapists. Like, they're like, I don't know what you're going to do for us, to be honest with you. But you came recommended, and I was meeting with the wife, and she's like, my husband says, you've done a little bit for him, and I just kind of started coaching, and it's fun because they're like, good luck, buddy. And
wait, is this leading to our theme today?
Well, I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out what I can do for him. But it's funny. I just continued to say to her, "Hey, well, look, what I'm giving you is not complex. It's very simple. But I'm going to give you structure, accountability, and then we're going to reinforce positive behavior. It's not complicated,
right?
But they're in a pattern, and we got to break the pattern, and we got to start new behaviors." We've talked about this in the old podcast, but to me, I've thought about this quite a bit. It's this breakdown in the village. It takes a village to raise a child. Like it takes a village to raise all of us.
Yeah.
And in the breakdown of centralized communities, where's the elder? Where's the mentor? Where's the guide? If you don't have a grandmother, or you don't have some figure perhaps in your family system, or you don't have a great boss who's very mentoring in their way, where are you gonna get the wisdom? Now nowadays we're scrolling through social media, and we're picking up like tips and tricks and stuff that way. And I think that's helpful. I was looking through our TikTok, and I had somebody send us a message, and I missed this. This was some time ago, and he said, "Thanks for rescuing my marriage, saving the marriage." And it must have just been one of the posts. He implemented something, and it made a big difference, right? So it's not that some of those small hits aren't helpful. They can be. But most of us need accountability. Most of us need some kind of structure. And totally. I guess, just thinking about what I've been fascinated with, maybe I'll post this, but I was so affected by my time with Scott. I got in my Bronco, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is why everybody needs a coach. I was attempting really in my way to get to ownership, get out of my victim and go, take an action.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what's fascinating me. How about you?
Top of mind right now, what's fascinating to me is just people who don't think. And, on a deep level, we talk about that we've talked about people who just not critical thinking. Sure. But I'm talking about people who don't think. And I had an example of it today. So I'm a painter by trade. I had a job where they're getting all new flooring in the house. They just bought the house, moving here from California. And the wood floor that they're putting in upstairs where all the carpet is was being delivered. I was like, great. And the guy who is doing the flooring said, "Hey, what time will you be there?" I said, "I should be somewhere between 8 and 8:30. Okay, great. Just tell them where to put it, anywhere downstairs." I was like, great. So I get there at like just a little bit after 8. And the guys are already there unloading it. It's obvious that there's painting going on in this place where you're doing it. Where should we put this? Right up against a wall. And it's a lot of wood. Like, I'm not moving it now. And so I'm just thinking, Isn't it interesting how people don't think there's painting going on here? Let's put this in the middle of the
center
room.
of the room. Like, yeah.
Just doesn't occur. And it happens every day that I think people just don't think. And I would say part of it is being thoughtful, sure. But it's just like, I think people get into a
that's it
thing and don't.
Thoughtful might be the broader context, right? Yeah. Sometimes people are not thoughtful.
Right.
Because the human nature is the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
And do what I do. So if I've been loading wood for 10 years, I'd stick it in the same place every time.
Yep.
You know, and
I guess so.
Right. And like to have spatial awareness and recognize there's more going on.
You threw me with that phrase. That sentence you just said got me off. Wait, are you still talking about?
But I get it. You know, like, and this is a good example of where expectations can come up where we're like, well, this person was not thoughtful.
Right.
I would be thoughtful. Why are they not thoughtful?
Right.
And of course, it's a place we circle quite a bit on the show. We talk a lot about expectations.
Oh no! Wait, do I have an expectation?
No, you. I don't know. Do you have an expectation?
I guess in a way I do, but at the same time, I'm not super dialed into.
You might have just had a desire. Like to me, here's the difference. The desire is, gosh, it sure would have been nice for you to put it in the middle of the room. The expectation is usually backloaded with suffering because there's an attachment to an outcome.
Right.
What a freaking idiot.
That's so stupid.
Like, right. Dude. That is usually, can usually tell the difference between desire and expectation and the energy.
The energy. Okay, that makes sense. We'll probably get into that, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll come up. It will come up over and over again in time.
That's awesome.
Okay, so here's what's on my mind.
Yes.
There was a quote from Chase Hughes, and he says this: the ego is the story you built to survive your fears.
Yes.
So in our language, we talk a lot about the drama triangle, the red triangle, the green triangle. Stephen Cartman in the 1960s. I wrote about this in the Thrivalist Handbook. And we use this as a foundational part of our coaching. And one of the things I reference is, hey, the red triangle is just kind of where the ego lives. There's no right or wrong. You don't have to shame it. It is. We're human, and everyone got an ego construct. But I loved this definition from Chase, where he's like, well, the ego is just the story you built to survive your fears. The ego is driven by fear.
Yes.
If it is driven by fear. So you get when you and it's not, and we go, well, is fear wrong? No, we're having a human experience. Like there is fear.
Yeah.
I grew up 20 minutes next to Niagara Falls. When we would walk up to the edge of the falls, I'd have this feeling in the pit of my stomach, like jump.
Yeah.
Don't jump.
Superman's not real. He's not going to save you.
Right. But that feeling when you're on the ledge looking over something.
Yeah.
Like that fear is that's a good mechanism that keeps you alive. Right. But fear can be completely paralyzing. Yeah. And it can keep you stuck in circumstances and can keep you stuck in relationships, and it can keep you stuck in patterns because you're in a story and you're afraid.
Right.
And it seems to me that so much of the human experience is about learning how to have courage in the midst of fear. How do I take a risk? How do I take an action when my ego is like, but I could die?
Yes.
And so I love that quote. That really hit me. It's just a story about how do we survive our fears. It to me, what I love about the quote is it pulls up compassion in me.
I'm freaked out because I was just about to say,
whoa.
Not only is it something you can have compassion for yourself about, but also when you see people acting out, you can be like, well, a little bit of grace to say there's probably a reason the way they're acting. And it's probably a fear, and their ego is trying to protect something.
You know, you watch these videos of people like freaking out on planes and stuff, you know, and you're like, this person is losing their mind. There is a disproportionate thing happening.
Yes.
And therapists say if it's hysterical, it's historical.
Okay. Oh, I gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you're watching a video, you're like, that person is crazy.
Yeah.
No, that person is caught in a story,
right,
where they're trying to survive their fears.
Yeah.
So something got triggered. They're back in their trauma. They're acting out like a 12-year-old or 7-year-old, but they're an adult body. And so when we're filming them with social media on a plane, we're like, this person is an idiot.
It's so interesting.
This person is trapped. They got stuck in a historical thing, something that happened to them, and they're managing their fear.
It's hard for my brain to relate. I mean, I'm fine to give people the grace and the space and all that stuff. But like something like that, I just can't imagine the feeling of I'm so scared of something right now that I'm acting out this way and people are like, what is going on? I can't imagine
that level. Like, I remember like, COVID, all the mask stuff. We'd watch all these videos, like somebody freaked out because they didn't have a mask on, or somebody freaked out because they had to wear a mask. And it was like just massive, huge reactions.
Right.
And to me, again, it's like, this is where we get to find compassion for one another as we live out the human experience. And
right.
And for us individually, so there's the compassion. What's the action? If I can recognize, hey, I'm living in a story about my ego, surviving fear, then I still get to take ownership for that. Like if it is disproportionate, if it is historical, and I get to pause, reflect, and go, maybe I don't want to show up in the world that way.
Yeah.
I'd like for this to come. I don't want to live in this pattern. I'd like for this to come to an end. And that to me brings us to the theme for today, which is, there's a book by Henry Cloud called Necessary Endings. It's a great title. So we'll just use the title of his book for today is what are in our lives, what are the things calling out to us that are necessary endings? And so there might be a pattern of like, man, I've been acting out like a 7-year-old for 25 years, for 30 years. And like, maybe it's time for me to have that 7-year-old stand down. Like there's a pattern. Maybe I snap, right? I quote, have no patience. So it's a limiting belief I use. Maybe I might go, well, I'm done with the limiting belief. I have no patience. I'm going to learn how to have patience. Like it's time for that pattern to end. There are other endings that are calling out to us.
Oh yeah.
And, endings in terms of career, endings in terms of relationships. And so I thought I have my, we'll go to the library.
Let's do it.
But I pulled this book by Henry Cloud that I read probably 10 years ago. But it is so good. And I thought I'd start with a word that he uses, which, first of all, it has a literal frame of reference for me, but the metaphor fits.
Yeah, of
course. He talks about the word pruning.
Pruning. Okay.
Pruning is a process of proactive endings. In my first book, Love Well, there was a line I used where I said, you either jump off the cliff in faith, like you can kind of feel this thing is coming to an end. I have to do something new.
Yes.
It's time for a transition. You either jump off the cliff in faith, which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the definition of faith. I can't control the unknown. I don't know what's happening. Or you get kicked off the cliff.
Right.
And you get knocked out of the nest. The second is less fun.
Yeah.
I've done both.
Oh, yeah.
And so I like the word pruning. Pruning is a process of proactive endings. We shared this on one of the shows recently. My mom passed, your mother-in-law,
yes,
about a month ago, and which is crazy to think it's been that long. And had a long talk with Dad last night on the phone. And but one of the things we talked about is my mother had this weeping willow tree they planted in the house when they bought the house. They've been in the house for about 30 years.
Yeah.
Beautiful weeping willow tree. But somewhere along the way, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, the thing just started dying.
Right.
And I would go home often and say to my mom, we got to cut these dead limbs off. Like we got to get, now her part of her struggle and her trauma, she was like, I call her an amateur hoarder.
Yeah.
She loved to give to people in need. She saved the whales. She gave to Native Americans, which I'm sure would make you happy.
We appreciate it.
She gave to the American Bible Society. There are probably 20 different places. She was very generous. She loved to give. But as a result, she got on the lists.
Yep.
And every single day, her mailbox was stuffed with papers. And somewhere in her psyche, she felt like she owed it to each person to read through those papers.
And not for lack of them not making her feel like she was.
That's true. What was it we came across?
We saw several, like Susan. They need your help.
And it was on the front of the envelope.
Yeah.
Susan, they won't make it without you.
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it was pretty brutal.
Insane.
Yeah. Well, my mom would put the papers in, take them inside from the mailbox and go, I got to get to these. Well, imagine doing that for 20 years.
Oh my goodness.
Papers everywhere.
Yes.
So when I say she's an amateur hoarder, like the basement just stuffed papers, magazines. She would throw nothing out from our childhood. Like, I'm like, Mom, when did I wear this? In kindergarten? She just kept it all.
Yeah.
But it's the same thing. She would not cut the limbs of the tree. And the tree's dying.
Right.
And she loves the tree. But, for her own trauma, she had a lot of loss when she was young, a pretty significant loss. And it just got stuck there in the psyche, right?
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. My conversation with Daddy's like, going to bring a tree guy out and see if they can bring the tree back to life. So stand by.
That'd be great.
We'll find out if it does. So when I say it's not just, it's in I have a literal example of we'll see how this goes. When you actually get proactive and prune something back, you give it an opportunity for life. Here's what Cloud says. The gardener frees those needed resources to the plant. Frees those needed resources so the plant can redirect them to the buds with the greatest potential to become mature roses, leaves, whatever the plant is. Those buds get the best that the bush has to offer, and they thrive and grow to fullness. Pruning enables rose bushes and other plants to realize full potential. Without it, they are just average at best and far less than they were designed to be. And so, I mean, this is a pretty good place for us to pause and ask a question. What in your life is asking to be pruned?
Yeah.
Like, what in your life is there might be a relationship, and he talks a lot about that too. Relationships are there for seasons. There's a book called The Four Loves by C.S. Lewis, and he talks about what's the definition of a friend. And he said, definition of a friend is just someone you have something in common with. You both hold this commonality, and it's built a friendship. It might be the commonality was we did high school together, and so we have all these memories from back then. The commonality might be we're both Star Wars fans, and the commonality is we both work the same job. But friendships go in seasons. And one of the things he talks about is somewhere along the way, we sometimes think that endings are bad or wrong. That to go, this was beautiful, and now I'm moving on is actually part of life. We see it in the seasons.
Yeah.
That there is a season for sowing. There's a season for reaping. Like life is, it's being reflected back to us in nature all the time. That things come to an end. And of course, spiritual teachers will say, if they don't come to an end, then new life can't come. So there is death and rebirth.
Right.
There is order, disorder, reorder. This is the universal principle. When we resist something coming to an end, we typically start suffering. And that death hangs around us, and we do not reach our full potential.
So there may be people out there who hear that question, what needs to be pruned? And they have an immediate 3 to 4 answers. Like they've already been thinking about it, don't know what to do about it. But for people who are like, I don't know.
Good question.
Okay.
He says this, here are the most common maps that keep necessary endings from happening. So this might be a good, like, how would I know? Here's a great way to check in. He said, these are the most common maps that keep, and he's using map as kind of, he calls them internal maps.
Okay.
There's a way of being my proclivity. So it's my internal proclivity that prevents me from a necessary ending.
Okay.
He says, first of all, having an abnormally high pain threshold. And by the way, this is true. He said, when something happened, oh, here it is. He says, he's referencing, he says, he's talking about a guy named Dennis. He said he had gotten so used to putting up with people's problems, he couldn't get out of the pattern. He said he had formative experiences in his life in which he had to put up with a lot of pain at the hands of others. As a result, he learned to become responsible for their problems and to negate his own emotional responses to them. Ouch.
Okay.
I didn't read the others. That one. Sorry. Yeah, that one is such a punch in the face for me.
Seriously.
I mean, I for sure lived my life so many of my years that way.
I can take it.
Yeah,
I can take it.
And it's a little bit of the male lore in Western literature, like you take it for the team and suck it up.
I'm the Rocky.
Be the martyr. And I grew up with a Christian frame, so that was reinforced even more. So no, this can't end because the last one he says is codependent mapping, which the similarity is like, oh, I'm responsible for other people.
Yeah.
As opposed to, no, that adult is responsible for themselves.
Yep.
My behavior might have an impact. You might like or not like how I am showing up in the world. I might not be your cup of tea.
Yeah.
However, you're responsible for your own behavior. And it's very challenging. That's another map where some of us go, wait, no, I'm responsible for everybody. I was with a different client this week who was like, wait, I'm not responsible for these other adults in my life? No. And you trying to manage them and enable their behavior is not serving them or you. Mm-hmm. So again, there's a second one. Abnormally high pain thresholds, 2, codependent mapping, covering for others. That's an interesting one. Hey, loyalty means I got to cover for you.
Right.
So that's third and fourth one. Believing that an ending means I failed. So I can't end this thing because that's the equivalent of failure and I can't stomach failure. Mm. And the last one is misunderstood loyalty. You can see how a lot of those are woven together.
Well, it's interesting you say loyalty, or he says loyalty. What's the difference between loyalty and or what's the line of demarcation between loyalty and you need to end this?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
I was sitting with Dad and my son Tyler when we were in New York after everything happened with Mom. We'd gone out, grabbed a bite to eat, and we're sitting there talking, and somehow the conversation I wanted to say devolved, but the conversation shifted into politics and American culture and whatever. And Dad said, well, one of the problems with America today is people just aren't loyal anymore. And he kind of went on a little rant. And I was like, well, Dad, give me the definition of loyalty. What is loyalty? And my dad is a smart guy. We had him on the podcast. Sure. He was a teacher. He's a writer. He's very smart. He goes, well, no one's really asked me for the definition of loyalty. I'm like, well, I'm asking you.
Yeah. So
he goes, well, that's actually really hard to define. And I was like, so Dad, before we just riff like the problem with America, or the younger generation is not loyal. Like,
this is the problem. What do you mean by that? I don't know. Okay.
And I know the sentiment of where he's going.
Sure,
and there's aspects of it I wouldn't disagree with, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, wait. I think this happens all the time. Sometimes we stand on a soapbox. We create these sweeping stereotypes and generalities, and we miss the nuances. What are we actually saying here?
Yeah.
Your question is, well, what's that line of demarcation? What is loyalty? We sometimes even use adjectives like, oh, he is blind loyalty, right? And we sometimes are trying to qualify what that means.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't looked at the definition of loyalty, but if I had to give it a shot, to me, it is it's continuous support and unconditional love without losing your integrity.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. That's just me riffing. Mm-hmm. Because it means I'm there. I got your back.
Yeah. Without giving up the integrity is probably the most.
I think that qualifier is important, right?
Yeah.
Because I also, if I start to act outside of my, like I start lying or cheating or stealing or whatever on your behalf, I'm now out of my own integrity to cover for you. I'm disrupted. I'm not in my higher self anymore. Right now and by the way, that being off center is there's going to be cost for me and for us because I'm not showing up in my true self, in my center.
Yeah.
So to me, But loyalty to me is a version of unconditional love. Like, I got you. I got your back. Like, I'm with you.
Right.
Ride or die. But that doesn't mean there are no boundaries in it.
Exactly.
It might even mean like, I love you, I'm loyal to you, and like, we're not talking again until this is reconciled.
Yeah.
I love you from afar. I'm grateful for the context of our friendship.
Yep.
But this behavior, this action's not okay.
Right.
In abusive relationships, a lot of times you have one partner who's like this. Maybe they're in therapy and someone's pointing out the abuse, and they're going, "Yeah, well, I know there's abuse, but man, when he's not drinking, he's a gem. He's wonderful. He's a great dad. Yeah, but he hits you. Right. I know, and I know that's not right, and I know, but when he's not like that, and so both are true. You can acknowledge like, oh, there's this. I love this, but this behavior is not okay.
Right.
And that's where we all start to we get to ask the question, hey, what is there a necessary ending so that there can be new life? I brought an artifact.
Okay. Hey, before we move to that.
Yes.
Speaking of riffing.
Yes.
I'm glad that you riffed on the definition of loyalty.
Yes.
Because it brings me to a pet peeve that I have.
Oh, well, all right. Let's go.
This is widely, in my experience, used by preachers, but I've also heard just any type of public speaking.
Okay. I'm ready.
And I'm tired of it. We don't care about the dictionary definition of shit. Quit putting it in your talk. The definition of friendship, it's like, no. Like, according to
Brother Webster?
Exactly. Like, that's me. When I hear that, I hear you going, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to talk about, so I looked up the definition. No. No more.
Wait. No, wait. I don't know if I'm with you on this. You're going to have to unpack this.
You don't know if you
more.
agree or if you understand.
No, maybe both. I think I understand where you're going. I'm not sure if I agree. Wait. Tell me.
You're writing on a script for what you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
This should never come out of your mouth. The Oxford Dictionary definition of whatever word is this.
Yeah.
No.
Why?
And it's always words that we already know. You're not explaining some crazy thing.
Because it's too simple?
Yeah, it's too simple. And you're just like searching for what else can I... It's almost like...
It feels like filler?
It's filler. It's... I guess it's probably you trying to make yourself feel...
it's a third-party validation?
Yes. It's not needed.
There it is.
I'm tired of it.
Well, I hope
it's always like the stupidest words.
All the speakers of the word, all the speakers in the world, I hope will respond to your request.
So thank you for just riffing. That was more impactful to me than what Merriam-Webster had to say about loyalty.
Okay. This is okay. I got it.
And every time they give the definition, I'm like, yeah. We, as the kids say, we been knew what the definition of that word was. Come up with better points.
Okay.
All right.
I got it. I as a speaker, I'm thinking, well, the reason I quote other...
I've never heard you say that, by the way.
I mean, very rarely, I guess.
I've never heard you say... I've heard you describe what something is, but I've never heard you say, no, I looked it up. It's like
30 years.
Amateur.
30 years of speaking. Amateur. I'm sure I did it at some point, but
anyways.
But okay.
Rant over.
Okay. Oh no, I got you. Okay. It's in some ways it's just too simple.
Yes.
Like, come on. There's a little bit like just honor some basic intellect is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I got it.
Like, I think they think that when you give us this is the actual definition from the dictionary, we're going to be like, oh.
Like, it's a huge epiphany.
Hold on. What's he going to say next? This guy looks up definitions. What else has he got for us? It's like, come on.
Okay.
Be more interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. I am definitely not going to look up any definitions.
Right. Thank you.
Okay. Artifact. Is it artifact or mailbox?
Either one, man. We don't. We can't be boxed in.
All right. We're gonna do. By the way, there's a song by Olivia Rodriguez.
Rodrigo.
Nope. Olivia Dean.
Olivia Dean. You corrected me with Rodriguez and said, "Oh, actually, Dean." The hell?
Hey, if you ask me about 80s music, I got it. But the new kids, it's tough for me to remember.
All right.
It's too many Olivias.
Olivia Dean, British.
Right now. Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you. Don't box me in.
Yes.
Is that a song?
I think so.
There's a duet she sings with a guy, and I think it's something like that.
Don't rein me in.
Don't rein me in. Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Don't rein me in.
We have a neighbor
We'll hear
that's
from
come
him in
by.
a minute.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Anyway,
T-dubs.
this is my artifact.
Okay.
Pulled this out of a shoebox. I've had some endings. I did youth ministry. I was a professor for a stint. I then left youth ministry, became a church planter. I left the church, went into coaching. Right, I've had these different iterations and identities. Yeah. Some have been smooth transitions, some not. Right, this one was relatively smooth but painful. And so what I pulled was I was doing youth ministry in St. Louis. And when I moved there, I had a short stint as youth pastor in South Florida. This pastor said, "Hey, would you come out to St. Louis?" I'd not spent much time in the Midwest, none actually. And but I said, "Well, man, I got this passion to reach at-risk teenagers. So like, I want to build a community center that draws kids from the community. If you're just kind of looking for me to like pad the, just have a bunch more, kids inside the church. Like I got a heart for the outcast."
Yeah.
And I didn't have all the language then but probably because I felt like one most of the time.
Right.
And to his credit, he was like, "Okay, I'll support you." Well, it took 6 years to bring that vision to bear. Like, so I would dream about the building and sketch the building and meet with people and architects and the whole thing. Yeah. And then again, props to that pastor who passed recently of cancer. But he supported me all the way. And the parents of the church were not happy. So there's a lot of tension. We had like 80, the youth group grew like crazy. We had like 80 youth leaders, and we had some parents that were like amazing and all in. And a couple of them really were big supporters of making this building happen. But then we had some other parents that were like, "Hey, we don't want those bad kids coming into our church because they got purple hair, they cuss words, they have gender issues, and we don't want them to spoil our children." And I was like, well, now you know why I couldn't do that very long.
Right.
Because it was the antithesis of how I understood Jesus' teaching. But we built this $2 million youth center.
Yes.
Called The Realm, and we had like 500 kids coming a week. Well, this was an article. There was this young guy, he was in college at the time, named John McLaughlin, and someone had passed me a CD of his college music. Oh, yeah. And I was like, I'm pretty sure this guy is going to be big. Like, this guy's ridiculously talented. It was the only time, when you would have bands come in, we'd pay him, they'd have a little contract, and you'd pay him some money. It's the only time that I paid him like twice of whatever I was supposed to pay him. I'm like, I'm just going to pay more because you're freaking ridiculous.
That's amazing.
Is that wild? So anyway,
he's one of my favorites.
John, what a talented musician. If you haven't listened to John McLaughlin, and so sure enough, he went on to have quite the career, and he had a little stint in the Disney movie Enchanted. He has a lovely song there. But we built this $2 million building. It was amazing. And true story, the day we were cutting the ribbon, I knew I'm supposed to leave.
Oh my gosh.
And I went to the guys who had funded the building. There was a construction guy who owned a construction company who was a huge supporter. I went to the pastor. I was like, I know we've been working on this for 7 years. I'm supposed to go leave and start a church from scratch. And they looked at me and they're like, yeah, okay, well, we just spent a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of resources. And you know what? To their credit, Don was one of the guys who was leading. Don looked at me. He's like, stay for a year. Work yourself out of a job.
It's fair.
And I was like, fair. And so I literally did. We hired like a full staff. We hired the whole thing. We guy who was working with me at the time, Freddie, was with me. He just rolled into my position. And anyone who knows anything about youth ministry, I think the average stay of a youth pastor back then was like a year and a half. And I was there 8 years, and the guy who followed me was there for 8 years. So for 16 years, they had 2 youth leaders.
That's amazing.
So it turned out to be quite lovely.
Yeah.
but for 7 years, all I thought about in the moment we cut the thing, I designed the building down to the door hinges. I walked away with $30,000 of commitment to help start a church from scratch in another city, and just move but I knew it in my guts. I knew I can't.
Holy
part
cow.
of it was the angst. I don't fit. I'm a square peg in a round hole, and I'm supposed to go do something new.
Yeah.
And I remember then pastoring for a long time and then feeling like that was coming to an end. And I remember going to the owner of the factory, Calvin Lehue. He's a legend in Franklin, Tennessee. And I remember saying, I think I'm supposed to leave. I don't know how to leave. There's this word codependency I've learned. I feel responsible for everybody. Yeah. And he's like, the older you get and the risks get a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. He goes, it's just, it takes more courage. And I didn't know how. I couldn't summon up the courage. And so by the time I did leave, this was more of it was not a smooth and easy transition.
Right.
And so I've been
that cliff
around necessary endings. That's right. I've jumped off and I've been kicked off.
Yeah.
And yet the ending is still necessary.
Yeah.
And neither way, both come with their different kinds of pain, but both way, new life is on the other side. If you'll choose to live into it and know that this is the cycle. Mailbox.
Let's do it. I love this part.
All right. Do we get any?
By the way, if you hear us talking and you have a question,
hit us up.
Is slide into the comments a thing?
I don't.
Slide in the DMs, boys.
Slide into the.
I know it's slide into the DMs, but if you're like watching YouTube, slide into our comments.
Oh yeah. If it's YouTube, yeah. YouTube, TikTok, hit us Instagram, hit us somewhere. Yes.
All right. You talk a lot about killing expectations. Is it ever helpful to have an expectation? Shouldn't we expect more of ourselves?
You have to break down the word expect and expectation. So it's woven into our vernacular, especially corporate America, especially team sports. It is so cemented into the way we talk.
Right.
I recognize what I'm saying is very disruptive because I'm saying no, even to that. No, every expectation is a premeditated resentment. There is a pretty hard absolute. I know I'm going hard in the paint on this, but expectations are what we believe about how others should behave or how we should behave. Uh-huh. And notice the word should popping up in there. We'll reference Brene Brown, who says, stop shooting on yourself. Yeah. All shooting is judgment.
Seriously.
And so the challenge with an expectation is most expectations always carry a degree of ambiguity. They're not totally clear. And the other person, by the way, this is including yourself, and I'll explain this in a second, hasn't come alongside to acknowledge and make an agreement around it. So what I say to people is kill your expectations, get rid of them. They're nuanced. It's like somebody signed. There's a silent agreement that the other person didn't know they signed, and then you hold them accountable to something, and they're like, "What? Well, it's common sense. It's the way it should be, right?" But expectations are one directional. Even with yourself, it's your ego going after yourself. That's what you expect more from yourself. Well, what's the energy? Typically what happens is people are like, they feel shame.
Right.
There's fear. The energy that's driving is not love, action, dignity. But if you have an agreement, so that's why I say it can't exist in a vacuum. You can't just kill it. You got to replace it. If you replace it with an agreement, then you get clear about what you want. I get clear about what I want. You're guys who delivered the wood. If you had been there a little bit sooner and called me, hey, whoa, time out. Hey guys, would you be willing to move that wood to the center of the room? Because I'm obviously painting this room.
Where you're putting it like a bunch of dummies.
And they said yes. And you go, we have an agreement. Now, if they still put the wood up against the wall, you're like, well, we have a broken agreement.
Right.
But you gave them an opportunity. You gave them the dignity of choice. Go ahead.
Would you say that expectations imply a certain amount, if not a surplus of emotion? versus an agreement is just, this is what it is.
You are right. The expectations do tend to be backloaded with a lot of emotion, fear, hurt, anger. Again, because they're too nuanced and the other person can't read your mind.
Mm-hmm.
If there's an agreement, it does pull a lot of the emotion out of it because it's like, well,
this was it.
Oh, well, yeah, it's kind of yes or no. Did you keep the agreement or didn't you?
Right.
Well, but this happened and the dog ate my homework. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, I can appreciate those excuses, but my question is, did you keep the agreement or no? No. Right. Okay, so here's an opportunity. Green triangle, take some ownership. Yeah. I didn't keep my agreement. Right. Yeah. Even with yourself, I think we make it's better instead of expecting, quote, more from yourself. I think the energy is different when you go, I'm going to make an agreement with myself. Hey, I'm going to work out 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. I expect more. Well, how's that working for you?
Right.
I'm going to make an agreement with myself to work out 3 times this week. Now, if I don't work out 3 times, I broke an agreement. That moves me out of my integrity.
Yeah.
And I don't like the feeling. This is, when, again, back to Brene Brown, she talks about shame and guilt. Guilt is behavioral. Like, wait a second, I'm not staying in my integrity by keeping my agreements. So I'm going to shift my behavior.
Yeah.
Usually expectations drives you into shame.
Right.
I expect more from you. Oh, I just can't do it. I expect more from you. I failed again. I expect more from you. I suck. I'm horrible. I'm dumb. Yeah. And now we get into some language which becomes limiting belief. And now we're stuck in patterns and off we go. So it's a great question because I get the sentiment of it. Shouldn't I expect more for myself? I would say want more for yourself, but the expectation of an outcome leads to suffering. Desire that leads to an agreement leads to fulfillment.
What about different things? Let's just say, especially like in a relationship where you're not going to make an agreement probably about every little thing that you can think of. For instance, what if I have an expectation that you're just going to be kind?
Mm-hmm. Kind as defined by you.
Yeah, just you're going to be over. Not that every once in a while you can't get upset, but in general, I expect to treat you with kindness and to be treated with kindness. Mm-hmm. Like, what is there? Do you have to make an agreement to that?
To me, yes, because I promise you, if that's how you live, there's going to be a lot of suffering. First, kindness is not defined. Kindness for one personality type is very different. Kindness for an 8 on the Enneagram is different than kindness for 1 on the Enneagram.
Let's just agree the kindness that I'm talking about.
There we go. Which was fine. Then you sit and have hey, this is my desire and my definition of kindness. Right. Does this work for you? Can this be the rhythm of our relationship? Can we make an agreement around that?
Dang, you're right, man. I like it.
We got a friend.
I know. I can't wait.
We got a friend in the neighborhood. Tyler Ward, come on in, brother.
Friend in the neighborhood. It's a nice day. Wore my shorts.
What's
Shane,
up?
good to see you, brother.
You too, buddy.
Hi.
You just reminded me of your son.
Did I? Yeah.
That was amazing. Hey.
It's been too long.
It's been too long.
A lot going on.
It's been too long.
A lot going on. Can you give us can you give us a quick catch up, or will it immediately include what we're talking about?
Dude, here's what I came up with when y'all okay. So you're talking about necessary endings, and my question was, when is fear actually a good thing for you instead of the thing that gets in the way and you don't make the move? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like how can you tell the indicator of fear is actually protecting you in a way that's going to like keep you alive and actually progress you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. I think what you do is so this would be, I'm not going to give you the definition of fear. But I'm going to do that.
We might lose somebody.
See what happens.
We might lose somebody.
might get violent on set.
Watch there be 2 people on set.
and let me tell you how I got this. Cause you're talking and I'm thinking to myself in my spirit, I'm like, dude, yes, fear's got to go.
Yeah.
Fear's got to get out of the way and I got to make that move. And then I'm like, but what if that fear is actually telling me how to make the move in a way that, so this is, I mean, we can go into the story. We can go into the story a little bit, but the question is, when is fear guiding you in a direction that is actually helpful?
Fear
and is
wisdom.
that possible?
Yeah. To me, perhaps anytime, right? So fear is an emotion. Right? Just like anger is an emotion and hurt's an emotion, and sadness is an emotion, and disgust is an emotion. Like, I feel fear. Okay, it's a feeling.
Yeah.
It's like the heads-up display in your car. Hey, we are low on gas. Like, I feel fear.
Yeah.
the fear now gives you information.
Yeah.
If you stay in the emotion of it, you typically wind up in dis-ease.
Yes.
So feel the emotion, let it inform what's happening. So I give you my Niagara Falls. Hey, I'm walking up. If I stand up on this bar and try to balance myself, there's a really high probability I could fall to my death in the Niagara Gorge. So the fear is giving me information that on a few feet away is probable death. This is good information. And so what's my action? I'm going to take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the information is always coming through a filter, right? So I might be like, hey, that guy's got dark hair. He's bad. Well, why? Because in my past, this guy with dark hair was really abusive to me. So I'm making this, so I'm projecting some part of my story into the future or into my present or future and going, well, all people with black hair are bad. All people with red hair are funny. All people, like, right. So we have some filter, and that's where we have to recognize that fear is giving us information, but will we be honest enough to examine the information?
Yeah. Good.
Fear's the emotion.
Fear's the emotion. Sometimes I don't think fear is emotion. I think of it as like a partner instead of an emotion. Feel through it.
Yeah.
Ask the questions.
Yeah. That's it.
Let it. I love the heads up display. So there's a lot, but I love what you're talking about. I loved what you guys were talking about. And the definition piece, I actually feel that way too.
Do you?
Yeah, he just put words to it. I was like, oh, that's really interesting. I didn't even know I felt that way until he brought it. I was like, actually, I relate.
Dude, it knocked me out. Like, well, not learning anything from this talk. That's that.
Okay, yeah, that's funny. That's funny. So yeah, anyways, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, what's happening in your life?
Lots of necessary endings, actually. You're catching me in a state where when I have enough sleep, I'm on top of the world. When I have struggle sleeping or I'm not quite rested, I feel like those decisions the day before, I question them. So I find that really interesting. But I also find myself waking up in the middle of the night thinking of next moves because so I run a company. Some of the listeners may or may not know this, but called Songhouse, and it started when you and I were actually in a mastermind together, lightning in a bottle on accident. I have a loft downtown Nashville. We had 3 tenants in there. They're all songwriters. And we showed up, and instead of just doing the normal Nashville thing, it was like, hey, these writers are really fearful. Let's get them out of their head. Let's just give them 30 minutes to write hooks, come back and perform them for each other. So we have, a 63-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a rapper all writing together. And you come up with such beautiful, different pieces of art you never would have even thought about.
Sure.
And I'm like, oh, this is something really, really special. So it's just a creative collective that came together, started going viral, started following the energy of that, and just having hit songs from a loft in Nashville from a bunch of independent people. And you start building, and you do different brand deals, and the years go on, and you start building your team, and then you realize, oh wait, maybe we should shrink the team, and then
feeding American Idol.
Yes, we've
You're basically the farm team for most of these television shows, right?
70 now American Idol voice finalists.
Yeah. Holy cow.
And not necessarily, bred them, but like they've written with us. Yeah. And 15 from our squad who were never known or from us.
Yes.
And then, it's kind of cyclical now.
Yeah. Pretty cool.
So it's really special. And then when you're talking about necessary endings, we're doing a camp last week. I was actually inviting you. You were doing your own thing. It was so cool. I was like, hey, you want to come speak to these guys? Like, they're people from all over the country who are, either they've lost a dream or they're young and they have this dream. And so they're 2 different sides of the mountain. And they're like, I just need to get, there was a lady there who bought a ticket for her daughter who is 19 and she was mid 50s and she hadn't sang in 20 years.
And they both came?
They both came together.
Wow.
And she's like, I want to use my voice so you don't lose yours. It was so beautiful. So she sang for the first time in 20 years and her daughter also sang with her and they wrote a song. It was like, Songhouse isn't necessarily just, hey, like write a song. It's dive into who are you, ask the tough questions, sit with the fear. And, and so everything that you do is complementary to whatever we do. It's just cognitively, and then the heart level, and then we write the songs about it.
Yeah.
So,
well, this is to me why you're such a great director and producer, because you're so good at, hey, you didn't just show up to write. You take the time to get them in their heart, get them out of their head into their heart. We're going to create art here. That means it's vulnerable. And you have such a gift at creating emotional safety for people, because without emotional safety, you're not going to be vulnerable.
And I want to talk about that. This is where I'm going. I don't know if you've experienced it on the endings. So the trajectory of where we were headed is just, the sky's the limit. Mm-hmm. And then you start pruning in a healthy way. You should prune, and you start growing in certain ways. And then things happen that are out of your control. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this a lot, like, where can I take responsibility for the things that I can take responsibility for? And then there are some things that are out of your control.
Yes, sure. Yes.
That I'm like, okay, well, what can I at least learn from that? So there were 3 significant events that happened literally up into this moment last week.
Oh, wow. Okay. We're doing this in real time.
You're in real time. And I find it interesting because you're one of my favorite coaches. So I'm kind of like, I get free coaching.
Yeah, totally.
So I'm here, man. And you talk about necessary endings, and some of the things that you said, and it was a Henry Cloud who gave you those scores, the abnormally high pain threshold.
Yes.
Brother, I feel like being an athlete. Yeah. I feel like pushing through, working out, doing the whole thing.
We're trained early on.
It's, I have to sit with that. Feeling responsible for others, learning that I'm not. And that's actually a really, really cool awareness that's been happening over the last several years. Covering for others. I mean, all these things, I'm just like, dude, I felt all these things. And then believing that an ending is failure. So here's where I'm at today. Is there's 3 significant events that happened that were outside of my control, and I can share 2 of them. The other one I can't because I just can't until maybe next year.
Okay.
I find it interesting. Yesterday, I'm hosting an event. No, that's the one I can't talk about. I purchased this loft in 2017, and I get there and I think to myself, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this. I just felt like step in faith, buy it. Mm-hmm. I was living in LA at the time. Mm-hmm. A year later, I moved. So I've let this place sit vacant for a year.
Oh, wow.
And I show up, I'm like, I'm going to make a studio out of this, but it's on Rosa Parks Boulevard. I didn't know it at the time. It is loud. So I'm like, what am I going to do? And I just lay in the middle of the floor. I'm like, what did I do? What am I doing? And I just hear this voice. It's like, there's always a creative solution. So that was like really significant for me, because I'm like, I don't believe that doors, when doors close, you can drill a hole through the wall. Because there's no windows.
Right.
But I just believe like there's always a creative solution, or it's telling you something. And we've walked through that, the obstacles, the way, like the pain, you kind of got to go through that sometimes to get to where you're supposed to be. So I'm in the loft and I'm thinking, all right, fine. So there's this beautiful room with these huge windows, and I just rip them out without permission, which I should ask for permission. And I create this studio soundproof, and I'm like, oh, that's our studio. And then I'm going to live here and this whole thing. But I bought the unit because it comes with a basement, which I created into like a just a hangout and a songwriting room, this whole thing. 7 years later, I get a phone call from the HOA and they say, hey, that's not your space. I'm like, well, I got it approved from the city and you sold it to me and and you approved all these different things. What happened was they mistaken the deed for another unit in the building. And so I ended up renovating the wrong unit and living there for 7 years.
God.
No.
And we tried to make a trade, and these people who actually own the unit were like, we're not going to trade it. So I lost it literally like 3 weeks ago.
The loft?
The basement?
The basement?
The 60 grand that I put in the basement.
Oh my gosh.
To someone who didn't even know they had a storage unit.
Oh my gosh.
Which I renovated a storage unit.
Yeah, right.
Lost that unit.
My God.
Yeah. So we went through legal battles and everything. And it was just one of those things where it was just like, hey,
this is 9 years later.
This is 9 years later.
Gee whiz.
So I'm like, okay.
What the heck?
There's another instance that happened. And then this is the craziest part. So it's Saturday, it's last week, and I do Songhouse, and we bring people from all over the country. And I tell them up front, because I've learned create agreements. Because the minute you sell something that you can't promise is the minute you become the cult leader, basically. This is okay. So the week before that, I had friends who'd come to Songhouse friends who are in a text group with my wife, who decided they were going to follow a trend on social media and post it for the world to see. And their biggest video was, it's a Netflix documentary type trend thing. And I'm sitting down to do a Netflix documentary about a musical cult in Nashville. And everybody's like talking about Songhouse. The lady's like, yeah, and it's a friend. And if you only knew the leader, it's just all this stuff that heavens. I was like, and Emmy's like, I'm not going to stand for that. My wife, Emmy, not going to stand for that. I was like, don't say anything. I've been through this before. Let it breathe. Another video goes up because that's her biggest video. So she's like, I'm going to follow it up.
Whoa.
And talks directly to the camera about me.
Whoa.
Emmy drops the bomb, brings the hammer, Louisville Slugger. Boom. She deletes the video.
Whoa.
But what I learned was there were 7 or 8 people who I would consider like, you help, you lay down, like you come alongside because you believe. And then if it's not working, we just move on.
Right.
But because I moved on, I'm the enemy. I didn't necessarily invite them back the way they wanted to, the expectations. So clear agreements. And I'm like, that's good for me to know. I can take responsibility there, but I'm not. This is what I put down here. I am sick of I do not want to be responsible for other people's stupidity. I just don't. So if you make the mistake, that's on you. Yeah. But I can come alongside. How can I support in this way? But that's on you.
Yeah.
So there's things that have happened, which I believe I've been very clear. And there's some things I'm learning about myself. I get, they call it a love bomber. You go in and you're excited with people. And then you're like, okay, that was cool. Didn't work like we did. Oh my gosh, I'm excited. And then they're like, you're a jerk.
Yeah.
Because you didn't spend time with me.
It's a narcissistic tendency that you came on so hard, so fast in the beginning. You sold me.
Yeah.
And then you backed off. And I felt like you sold me now a bill of goods.
Right. And so I have to look at these things. And my therapist, when I first started doing it, like, this has been a common theme following me. And what I realized as I look, I'm like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be known as the guy. But then I was like, I started Songhouse with integrity from the beginning. You got pulled into it too. I can't believe you brought your friend in to get people vulnerable so they could film moments. And I was like,
oh, sweet. Somebody took a shot. Oh,
I just want you to know that there's 20 videos that I've never posted because the artist didn't feel comfortable. So we're going to honor that. So there's this thing of like, okay, the former model leads to some resentment if you don't have success. How can I get much clearer on agreements? And where can I take responsibility for my excitement and enthusiasm and direct that in a way that's honorable to people? So that happened the week of camp.
Wow.
And I've been through this before. I lost 200,000 followers 10 years ago because I was not probably healthy at the time. And I hurt somebody and she made a post and I was like, can I sue them? And they're like, no, they didn't use your name, but everybody knew. So this had been a thing. And I'm like, I want this to stop. But I was and I'm sharing a little bit just because the truth is the truth. Yeah. I don't care if people know, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to defend anything. Yeah. So there are things that I've said, things that I've done that I think that I can take ownership for. But that happened. The other thing happened. Another event happened. I'm at this event on Saturday. And at Songhouse, we're supposed to cut, and I tell them this, I cut 20% of people who show up because it's an audition. So we had 20 people that afternoon, and I knew my top 5. Part of Songhouse is I cannot listen to your story and you get up there and sing and tell you it's wrong. I can't do it.
Right.
Your story and your voice is yours.
Yeah.
And what has happened over the last several years is everybody who came up there, I wouldn't necessarily put them on the squad, but man, I want to honor them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful story. You're in your story, you're telling your story, you're doing it musically. I can honor that. It may or may not be at a talent level
right.
that we're going to move forward for our company, but I honor your story.
So here's the shift. So all this is happening. Brother, it's a Saturday and I have to go back Sunday and supposed to bring 5 back. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to email each one of these. And it's very easy for me to make cuts. I'm like, hey guys, this is what we agreed to. I appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. And usually it's like easy. I went home and I took a melatonin. And I usually sleep hard through melatonin because I needed that rest. But I woke up at usually like 3:30 or 4, and I'm like, oh gosh, okay. But this was 2:30 in the morning. And I could not sleep. And I was wrestling. And any of those moments, I get up and I just sit. And I saw this in my head. I wrote it down. You're on a plane that's about to crash. I'm giving you a parachute. You can jump out, or the thing's going to crash. And I was like, what? And it just reminded me of this. I'm telling you, get out of the loft. Everything that you've built for that season, bless it. Something new's coming, and I need you to let go of what you thought it was.
Wow.
So I put the loft up for rent, and it rented the next day, and I got everything out of it this week.
Dang.
We have no more location.
Whoa.
And there's peace.
Wow.
However, in the midst of this transition,
the loft has been the environment for Songhouse from the beginning. It's the whole story is tied to that space. Wow.
I find it funny because I was trying to sell my piano, and on Facebook Marketplace, it's really challenging to sell things because they're like, is it available? Is it available? Is it available?
Will you take $4?
Yes.
Shut up.
And I just wanted someone to move it.
Yeah.
Because it's expensive to move those things.
Yeah.
So I listed, it's a great baby grand piano from the 20s. Like it should sell for thousands of dollars. Like, I need this out, $500. Get a couple offers. None of them fall. $250. I'm like, I just need it moved for free, whatever. The minute this lady texts me, she's like, hey, I'm ready to go pick it up. I get a text from this artist here in town. And his specialty is this. Hey, I make art from instruments to represent people's seasons. I'm like, can you look at the piano? And he went over there, disassembled it, got all the parts, went to his house, and left me this old piano in the middle of the room. It was the funny thing is that piano was the first thing in the room. It was the last thing to go.
Wow.
And now he's making art out of that season.
Wow.
And I'm sitting here and you guys are talking, and you're talking about necessary endings, and you're talking about, I'm talking about fear because, man, yesterday I was in such a good headspace. I was creative and I have this vision and this idea and a game plan. And this morning I'm like, I don't know if any of that's going to work. So we're in real time like, did I listen to the right thing? Which I do believe I did.
Yes.
Or am I just, this is where I am.
It's so this is really good because in real time, how many of us go, man, was I listening? And the response typically in that deep knowing is like, well, yeah. I acted in faith. Or, and it's just a different narrative that goes, now my fear narrative is built. Yeah, but if it doesn't work out, then this, right? Like it is the quintessential burn the ships moment of like, no, I can't go back. Like it's gone.
And the season was so beautiful, man. Like I do believe we could have kept going in that way, but there was something that I was like, it's done.
Yeah.
Whatever that was from 21 till now.
Yeah.
That's done.
Yeah.
What did we learn?
As an iteration was what it was. We honor it. It's had its ending. And now something new will be birthed.
And I'm going, can we birth quicker?
Right.
Because I have like 2 or 3 steps.
You know the thing about births. Usually there's a gestation period.
Yeah, dude.
Can this thing just go faster?
Right.
We break that water right now.
Right.
Call it emergency C-section.
Can we move this thing? And
somebody induce this thing.
It's got it needs its space. It needs its time to form and be formed.
And there's this weird, unfamiliar, like it goes deeper than just, hey, because Dennis has been a writer of ours for a long time. And he's like, I feel like I need to listen. I feel like I've stayed about 6 months too long and I just need to step back. And that was like 4 weeks ago. That was that was like the first domino. And all these things started happening. I was like, I need to listen to this. And thank you for the parachute. Okay. You might break a leg landing, but at least you're safe.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be in a plane crash. But man, you know when you cut that ribbon at that church, you're like, I'm done. I've been in social media since 2009, one of the very first influencers before influencers were a thing. 2 million followers, toured the world, did this thing that become part of my identity.
Mm-hmm.
When I suffered, I came and saw Jamie. Well, he started telling me basically without telling me, he knew by asking the right questions. Hey, maybe. And so I got to reflect and let go of certain things and kind of rebuild. And then out of the pain and out of the suffering and out of the just questions and I think I'm right, but I don't feel like it's right. And religious misunderstandings and abuse and my own responsibility, out of that birthed this beautiful place called Songhouse. Yet it still was tied to this identity of you're a creator. You put stuff out, you move fast, you go quick, you're a doer, you're a headliner, you're a 3 on the Enneagram, blah, 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 blah. And when you said you cut, and I'm going, why does it feel like it's more than just stopping at the loft? Why does it feel like, can you give yourself a break, man?
Mm. Because stopping implies starting, and it sounds like it's maybe in the same energy. This is, maybe not accidental. We're using this term. It's a full ending. Like
it feels like a book has been.
Yeah, like we're closing that
and
book.
I don't know.
Right.
Where's part 2?
Right.
Are we in part 1 of Harry Potter?
And I don't have to. Like maybe that's the full.
So can I tell you? Can I tell you what that does? There's momentum. Still, there's people reaching out. There's opportunities. There's things that are like. I think we had a mastermind. Someone, the guy who manages Sam Hunt, won't say his name, but he was like, sometimes when you eat steak, it's really great, but the minute you keep eating steak over and over and over again, you get sick of it. Yep. And there's a part of me that's like, don't let the momentum die, because getting the momentum is the hard part.
Well, we all know that. For sure.
So I'm at this crossroads, intersection, whatever you want to call it, but it's like, can I do both? But I don't know if I could fully do both right now.
Well,
this is where I am, and we're working through it.
This is good. When you say, can I do both? The question that lands on me is, first, a clarifying question. Do both, meaning, I think I hear you on, one is how do I still steward the momentum?
Correct.
And the other side of what's the other both? What's the second item? Take a break.
Well, just full stop for a minute.
Full stop.
Like give me
Sabbath.
I think the Sabbath is the word that.
Yeah.
I've seen professors, pastors, people just do a Sabbath where it's months.
Yeah.
And I
need to take 3 months. I need to get off the grid. Like I need a reset. I need to refuel.
Sabbatical.
Yeah. A sabbatical of sorts. Yeah, for sure. So the question is, can I stop, rest, and refuel, and also maintain the momentum?
Yeah.
Which is a killer question. It's a great question. Sometimes if you think of momentum like energy, can you put it in a pipe? What's the container for that? And can you hand it to a team or a friend or a person or someone and go, hey, can you nurture this thing for me while I'm gone?
Right.
It might not be at the same speed. It may not be at the same rate. We're going to probably lose a little bit of it, but it doesn't come to a dead stop.
Right. And I think what you said in your, I don't remember who it was who told you, it's like, hey, finish a year. And I was like, I could get to November.
Yep.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like there was this, because
and what you're putting in place from now till November are other people and systems that can nurture and steward the momentum while you take a break. And if you're feeling that break, especially most Enneagram 3s and most doers, action-oriented people, by the time they're actually considering the break, they're usually way past it.
Yeah.
I've not yet met a doer who just hits it right in the pocket like, oh, I think it's time to break now. No. They're usually frazzled, fried, burnt out, toasted on both ends. Like, I mean, most high achievers, And to your credit, you're doing this before you hit a wall, before the plane crashes into the ground, right? Like there's some level of awareness. This is the maturity in you to go, I can feel something is up. Now, part of that is you are very intuitive. You have a gift. You connect with energy underneath just intellect. That's part of the reason you've been so successful.
And I want to ask you a question after this, but
stay.
Yes.
So be attentive to that.
Yes.
Like something inside you is saying, hey, Tyler, be attentive. Like it's time for us to rest and refuel for a moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I think part of the responsibility of it's not even something happened in the last week, 2 weeks. No, it was last week because it was a week and a half ago. I've never in my life, and I struggle with this, man. Like to stay on top of it in the social media space, it's every day. I mean, you can take 1 or 2 days off, but it's every day. Mm-hmm. It's creating content. Mm-hmm. It's nonstop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At camp, when I saw the stories of these people, and it hit me harder than it ever had. It really defined like the mission for me of Songhouse. It was like, I'm here to create opportunities for people to be honest with themselves so they can experience joy now instead of waiting. Mm-hmm. What I learned, if you guys need to hire Jamie, please do. It's worth every penny. One of my favorite things that I learned with you was the story of the confession booth. Confession leads to salvation. Confession, here's what I also learned too. Not just confessing, because that can get messy, but a step forward that turns you, okay, this is where I'm headed now.
Yeah. The spiritual word for that is repentance, right? It's a shift. I'm going to turn from this toward this. I'm taking an action.
The one thing I've just loved about Songhouse is I'll ask a question and then I'll ask the same question. And they're standing there in the circle and they're telling their story. And then I'll ask the same question again. And if they don't give me a different answer, or because we make it there, this song is about, it's third. This song is about, and then I need to know your experience of why you actually wrote the song. And then they share it. And it just, it's always a breaking point, a beautiful moment. And if there's ever any weird energy, it's like, hey, go to Jamie or go to someone professional. Like, I'm not that guy. I just want to ask the question because whenever I confessed what was actually happening, I cannot put a price tag on that freedom of being honest regardless of consequences, radical honesty.
And we know that's where the greatest art comes from.
In the greatest life lived.
Yeah. Which is an art form.
Boom. And so I saw it happen. There was one guy, I won't say his name, but he came, he's like, I don't know what I'm doing here. My wife, she told me I should be here. I just got a ticket 2 days ago and I drove all the way from Florida. I'm here in Nashville and I haven't played music in years. And he gets up there and we just start talking. You welcome people. You start doing icebreaker questions, basic elementary things. And he starts sharing a little bit and we start doing these songwriting exercises, and about 4:00 rolls around. We start doing this thing called story songs, and you get with a partner and they ask you questions and you write your song and you go back and forth. You write 2 of them in a 2-hour period. So our performance happens around 5. People go and start and cry, sharing these stories. And he gets up there. It was song 4. And this changed, literally flipped the switch for me. It was like everything was building this point, the flip switch. He gets up there. I asked him one question and he starts saying, this song is about other people, blah, 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 blah. Okay, no, well, I need to know about yours. So, okay, well, this song is about when I'm in the church. This song is about, and I usually stop at 3 because I feel like 3 is enough. If you're not going to give it to me by 3, that's on you.
I've asked the question 3 times. You can't get there.
I'm not gonna push it anymore. I feel like that's just kind of unfair. There's boundaries there.
Not this guy. He'll go 6 whys.
So here's
why.
Maybe why. Maybe I've learned from you. I don't know. But there was, and I asked. I was like, it was like, ask the 4th, and asked the 4th, and he almost got there, and I just said, "What are you avoiding? You're not telling us the story." And you see a shift in him. He goes, brother drops a bomb. And he said, and I'm not going to repeat it because I haven't even asked him, but he said something to me that I think that's what church was supposed to be. Man, we're not a Christian organization. We're not any of the things that are spiritual, but he played a song about his life that was, I heard it the first time because we always let him practice it and you understand the meaning. You're like, oh, that's cool. Then you hear the heart of it. And he said some things I don't think he's ever said. And then he played his song again. And I found myself without hesitation in a state of worship. I don't like worship music. That, to me, I was like, I don't know what this is.
He was dialed in. He was connected to something.
The next morning, I was going to invite him back. He's very talented, almost like a Zach Brown kind of thing. And I show up to the loft the next day, no sleep, and he shows up first. And he's like, man, I don't know what that was, but I've been in AA meetings before, and the world needs this. And I was listening that night before. I was like, brother, I want you to know I can't cut anybody. Whatever happened there defined what this thing is. And it is so much bigger than this vision. It is, he's like, I'd love to bring this back to my hometown. And I was like, yes, this is free. This is not of me. And so there was this thing where it was like, it was the genesis of what is to come. And it's always been there. It just took me jumping out of the dang plane to go, that's what Songhouse is.
It's interesting. I'll take you back to, I know where we were seated the night this vision was birthed. I can picture us. We were at Revolution Pictures, Randy Brewer. We're in the conference room.
I miss those guys, man.
I know. And you said to the guys, hey, everything I've ever done, I've had to monetize, is how I've made a living. Done it since I was young. I have this feeling of, I don't want to monetize something. I want to just give back. I want to invest in people in such a way that my hands are off it and I let it find its way on its own. Maybe I do it later. Maybe it but it's got to find its own form.
Yeah.
And I just want to start with that in mind. And when you say it's always been there, to me, that was the genesis of, I want to create emotional safety for people to create great art, which is not just the art of the song, but for them to recognize the art of deep living. That's the gift you have given them. Yeah. And this lady or friend or whoever who is triggered and criticizing, usually what happens is somebody, when criticism like that comes, there's usually jealousy. I didn't get what I wanted, or there's a projection. I actually secretly am the same way, and I see it in you. This thing in you I'm criticizing is actually in me. Those are typically the two reasons we criticize. Evaluating is a little different. Evaluating to me is, and it could be semantics, but we evaluate all the time. Like, is this appropriate? Should I do this or not do this? But the criticism that has a judgmental energy to it, usually the pattern is it comes from some kind of jealousy or some kind of projection. So my point is, you have someone who's taking a shot. Now, what I love about you is you have often said to whoever the critic is, sure, I'll take a look at that. Maybe, maybe you're right. Maybe you tagged my ego. Maybe that is my shadow and I don't see it and I can learn from it. To me, you have always been very coachable and teachable. What I hear you saying is all of this stuff has kind of come to a head where you're like, nope, what was beautiful and messy and hard and wonderful, and it's ending. The purest part of whatever Songhouse was, it lingers on. Yeah. It's going to find new form. I don't know exactly what that will be.
And this is where you guys are talking about, and I'm going, because I felt that for a whole week. It was the Jerry Maguire moment. And then you wake up and you're like, is this, what? Was I listening to something? Like the practicality of it doesn't make much sense.
The practicality is because our brain wants to go to how.
Yes.
Tell the how to stand down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just tell the how to stand down. I don't have to know how. I know it's true. This is coming to an end. Something new is being birthed in the beginning. I'm not alone in this. There are other people who felt the same energy.
Oh my gosh.
Something's going to happen. I know this down in my deep knower. I don't know how, and that's okay right now. Gestation. Just let the thing breathe, find its way.
What do you do when you want to move, man? Maybe that's why I'm not sleeping, because I want to move something. Yeah. Like I have all these ideas, but I'm like, what do you do?
Channel the ideas, put them down, record them, write them down, honor them all. You're always moving energy. Ideas are energy, right? So I move the energy. The suffering comes when you're like, I got to hold on to it. I'm going to forget it. Or I got to, if I act on it now, then at least I know I honored it. Like, to write it down. If it's a good idea today, it's probably a good idea tomorrow. Like if it's a good idea today, it's probably a good idea a week from now. Like there are very few things. If I didn't do it right now, the whole world comes to an end. Like most of the time.
That goes back because I've always felt a tendency to like, if I don't do it now, you're going to lose the energy. Might as well do it now. Get it done. Which
again is generally a pretty good leadership principle because you don't give into procrastination or resistance. You're taking action. So that in terms of like at a micro level, that's a pretty great way to continue you wake up in the world and you're like, I'm going to do the hard thing. I feel the energy. I'm going to act. This, when you take the lens out and like, oh, there's this bigger thing. We're talking about birth. And we keep going to this analogy of birth, but I mean, death and rebirth.
Yeah.
Birth takes time. There is this period of forming. You're in the forming period. And that to me, you let it breathe and don't get in the way too much. Like you hold it I know we say this a lot, but you hold it loosely. I'm gonna form it here and speak to it here and love on it there and let other people give their feedback. But I'm not gonna codify this yet. It doesn't get a name. It doesn't get a brand. It doesn't get full actions. Like I'm gonna let it find its way. It's organic. Does that feel true?
Too true.
Why
like
too
true? Like because I can feel tears.
Okay.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
So that resonates. So you're in truth right there. You stay right there in that truth, and then you watch your energy. What you get to do each morning is go, Tyler. Notice the part of you that wants to go fast. Honor it, and check in. This might be the season of reaping, season of sowing. Hold on, you're going to tell that part he's going to get his chance, but not right now. He's going to rest. He doesn't know that he needs to rest. He's going to rest while this thing is still nurtured, still stewarded, and I'm going to let other people I trust participate.
Yeah.
And we're going to let the thing find its way.
Real time.
And please stay on the line for a quick, what are they called? Survey about how your time here today.
Thank you, Shane.
Okay, we're gonna do.
Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome, my friend. Guys. You are welcome.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'm gonna leave everybody with an exercise, and then we'll end with something fun. We'll do our little free association, free word association. Great. Okay. The exercise is this. I'll pull out a piece of paper, and at the top of the paper, I want you to write, those of you who are stressed, overwhelmed, or confused, not sure what to do. If you fit any of those categories, here's your exercise. Take out a piece of paper. At the top of the piece of paper, I want you to write down things I cannot control, and I want you to just write. Everything I can't control in this circumstance. And write until you can't think of anything else. Just write. Second piece of paper, things I can control. And I want you to write. In this circumstance, I feel overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I feel confused. I'm not sure what to do. Things I can control. Write. Might be a lot less than the second one, but we'll see. Just go ahead and write. When you get to the second one, things I can control, I want you to look at it, and I want you to circle the thing on there that is the most important thing to you. For you, it's the priority. Number one, circle it. And then off to the side, I want you to write down 2 actions. This is the most important thing to me, and here's 2 actions I can take. And then I want you to get up from the table, and I want you to take one of the 2 actions. And the first piece of paper, I want you to throw it out.
Oh.
You can't control it. Stop giving it energy. Instead, this is what I can control. This is what's most important to me. I will be responsible by taking 1 action. You'll be amazed how quickly all that overwhelm dissolves.
Mm-hmm.
You get back into, in our language, back into the ownership of green triangle, like, oh, I can make this decision. I can't control all the other things. I don't know where this is going to go, but I can do this one thing and do it. And then maybe an hour later or the next day, do the second action. And then make a list of 2 more actions you're going to take. and you wake up each day and you have your list of controllables and you go, this is what's most important, and here are the actions I will take. Now you do that day in, day out. What you're going to find is that ability to step into the unknown in faith. You're going to start to feel some courage and strength and momentum there, because this is what I can be responsible for, instead of having expectations about how the rest of the world will show up. I give this exercise a lot, and I'm often
That's really good.
I'm often surprised how I'm like, why did I not do that?
Yeah.
So the other day I was like, I feel a little overwhelmed. Like, time to do an exercise. So man, this is all of us, right? It's all of us. Okay, we're gonna finish. Tyler, thank you for coming by and being so willing to walk through all that in real time with us. And would you hear from us? Can't wait to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I've been alongside you enough to be like, well, this is gonna be an interesting ride.
Before you leave, I do want to share something that,
Please.
And it's just straight up the dictionary definition of rest. I think it'll be super helpful.
Okay,
Shane,
we're finishing with free
thank you.
association.
Yes.
Shane, you get to start.
You guys spent your 30 minutes doing whatever that was.
Okay.
I got some definitions for you that I think will really push it over the line for you.
Okay, free association. This is our
Okay.
fun little game at the end.
Yes.
We say, you say a word, I say a word, you say a word.
We're just going in a circle.
And we go in a circle, and
Oh, no.
and you're
Nope.
yeah, and there's no filter. You can't think about it. It's just the first
No
word that comes to
overthinking.
mind.
Usually it's like dirty boy
That's
jokes.
okay.
It's okay.
That happens a lot here.
It's okay.
Jackie, I'm sorry.
The only pause.
Have you met Jackie's husband yet?
Okay.
We can pause very shortly for laugh, but not for thinking.
Okay. Jeez Louise. Okay, so you're going to say something. We're going to say words.
First word that comes to
Just
mind.
word.
Oh, jeez.
Am I starting?
Yeah.
Definition.
Rest.
Pastors.
Weak.
Sauce.
Oh,
Ooh, spaghetti.
hot.
Girl.
Mama.
Chica. No. Shoot. Go ahead.
Did you say chica?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I thought of Chong.
Oh,
I think of Jackie Chan.
karate.
Sweaty.
Sports.
Love.
Buffalo Bills.
Denver Broncos winning this time.
Bill Super Bowl.
This is our year.
Josh Allen, so sorry.
Class.
Clown.
Ring.
Do-si-do.
Cowboy.
Boot scoot. Am I going off him or you?
Barn.
Horse.
Pony?
Ass.
Hole.
Nice.
His first thing.
Clean.
Hole.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay. Wipe.
Hole.
Oh.
Nice. Okay.
I'm stuck.
I know.
Insert.
Oh, no.
Jamie. Go ahead.
Okay, I think we're gonna wrap it up.
All right.
Okay. Okay.
Well.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, dude, that was awesome.
Man, so excited for what's up for you in the future, and can't wait to see what is formed.
Yes.
And for all of us who are in an ending, recognize it. And if you're in a brand new beginning, just rejoice and walk in faith and courage and all the stuff.
Yep.
And I would say this week, end one relationship.
And then define it.
Or define it before you end it.
Yeah. Define the relationship.
Yes.
Or define the relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be well.